Part 2. Verdant Wind. Garland Moon. The Chaos of War. Claude's plan to call in all Myran forces succeeds, and the Alliance army captures Fort Mercius. Before they can celebrate their victory, javelins of light rain down from the sky and destroy the fort. Forced to temporarily evacuate, the Alliance army regroups at Garreg Mach until it is ready to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
It's almost time to invade the Imperial capital. We still don't know where Rhea is, but if she's alive, she's likely in Enbar. Hopefully we manage to find her without too much trouble. I know, but if we're not careful, she'll just be whisked away again. I'm sure you must be anxious to see her again. Well, if that's what you want, I'll do my best to make it happen. But we're going up against Edelgard here. It won't be so simple.
Our next stop is the Imperial capital. We've sure come a long way.
What are you talking about? This is Garreg Mach. It's where we started.
I didn't mean literally, Raphael. I was speaking symbolically.
My earnest desire to protect the Alliance has carried me this far. It will not fail me. I am sure the rest of you all have your own reasons to fight as well. Of course, I understand that the fight will not end until we defeat the Empire. And now the time has arrived at long last to march on the Imperial capital and defeat the Emperor.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? We all come from different places and have different goals and dreams. But thanks to those two, we were all able to come together and overcome all sorts of challenges.
You are referring to Claude and the Professor, I assume. Even within our own odd group, those two are particularly unusual.
Oh, so you are aware that you're odd.
Well, it was simply a figure of speech. I am speaking about Claude and the Professor right now.
They're like the wind and the trees.
Huh? Claude and the Professor are? What does that even mean? And who is which?
Oh, I was just thinking that if we're the birds, then those two are like the trees and the wind. The Professor is a great tree that kindly embraces us and watches over us as we perch on its branches. And Claude is like the wind, pushing us forward as we soar across the open sky.
The metaphor about the Professor is solid, but I think Claude just blows us around on a whim. Still, we owe him a lot.
I think that's beautiful, Marianne. I can really picture it. When this war is over, I'd love to paint a picture of those two. Oh, and of all the people we've fought with as well.
You mean like a historical painting? I like that. Maybe our descendants will look at it a long, long time from now.
I must say, that piques my interest. I look forward to seeing how you portray my valiant efforts.
When you put it that way, we may be witnessing one of the greatest events in Fodlan's history. It's a lot of pressure, but the sense of duty I feel is even stronger than the fear.
I'm just happy to be here with all of you. I won't get scared, no matter what we face.
We have our goal. Enbar, the Imperial capital. Let's get to work.
I see. By any means necessary, then. Before the war's end. I'm covered, but just to be safe, I need you to check on my mother and Kupala. Still following me, huh? We have got to work on those manners, pal. Unless you really meant that bit about protecting me. That's where my mom was born and raised. I pay a spy money I don't have to keep an eye on the place. Whether I'm above the dirt or below it. It's up to me to make sure my stepmother can't get to my mom. No doubt about it. She's been honing her crazy plans lately. All because I've taken to fighting at your side. She thinks I'm making a name for myself before my glorious return to House Albrecht. Being delusional is her sport. There's little advantage to her going after my mom, but she's unpredictable. Gotta stay vigilant. Guess I haven't talked about her. After her and my pop split, she returned home. Where she's from, it's kind of an odd place. You know the folks who live in the mountains of the Alliance? Guessing that's a no. Few do. Imagine a place with no influence to speak of. Nestled in the mountains on the Almiran border. That's Kupala. Well, they're not mountain goats. And it's not like they never interact with the Lords of the Alliance. They're incredibly isolated, though. Even their trade relations are remarkably limited. Doubt that'll change. The land lacks resources worth fighting over. Probably for the best, honestly. Oh, but back to my mom. She was different. An exception to the rule in Kupala. She left the mountains, was rescued by my dad, and fell madly in love with him. That goddess of yours is one cruel minx. So if that's the destiny she gave him, wouldn't surprise me a bit. My birth helped matters, but only a little. House Albrecht just wasn't where she belonged. My dad was in a tough spot. He was obligated to marry a fellow noble and produce a fitting heir. Nobody'd want to live out their days where they're utterly unwelcome. So my mom returned to Kupala. Then it happened. I was enrolled in the Officers' Academy at Garreg Mach, and everything changed. During my enrollment examination, they discovered that I bear the major crest of Chevalier. My dad decided to resist his family's wishes and make me the head of the house after I graduated. Thing is, the truth of my special crest was kept a secret, by decree of the church. He couldn't tell anyone about my prized bloodline, so I was forced to step down as the legitimate heir. It was for the best. My crest was inherited from mountain folk who prefer to keep to themselves. Imagine what would happen to Kupala if it got out. We both know it would destroy their way of life. Too true. I'm guessing the church thought my crest would cause trouble in Fodlan. But don't get me wrong. No matter what life's thrown at me, I'm no victim. Like I've said, I prefer it this way. I've got to be free. Even if things were different, I'd still choose this life. But I can't let my mother and her people pay the price for keeping peace in Fodlan. Wouldn't be right. All I can do is make a name for myself in battle and secure enough power to protect them. Failure isn't an option.
Huh. What's that about? Marianne, I saw you on the training grounds earlier. It looked like there was an argument.
Oh, no. It was nothing.
Are you sure? Nothing happened at this morning's training?
Well...
Okay, tell me what happened.
I just couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. Everyone got so mad at me. They said something about looking into their eyes so I could read their movements, but I couldn't do it.
They may have a point.
I'm a hindrance to everyone. I can't do it.
Of course not. That goes without saying. It's hard to accomplish anything on your own. Look at me. By myself, I'm worse than useless. Can you see where I'm going with this? To succeed, you have to cooperate. You can't do that if you're not paying attention to nonverbal cues.
Huh?
Please, try looking up. Looking people in the eye. You'll see some things that you've never seen before. People worry about you, and rely on you. You'll see that on your allies' faces. In a way, you'll see what they're thinking.
You may be right. It was my fault for looking down. Thank you, Ignatz. I appreciate your encouragement.
Of course. Look, we both saw the sunset and appreciated its beauty. Nature communicates without words. We can do the same. We don't need to speak to be understood. Stop staring at your feet. Look at us. That'll be a good start.
I can certainly try.
Huh.
Is something wrong? Did I say something to upset you?
Oh no, to the contrary. I just realized that I was missing something. A thing of remarkable beauty. Right under my nose.
Remarkable beauty?
What? Don't mind me.
Nice work. Here you go. Drink up.
Oh, thank you. This water tastes absolutely divine.
Your shouts are really coming from the gut now. I bet you're getting stronger too.
I'm not so sure I'm stronger, but somehow, when I shout, I'm able to move more books than normal. Although my brother becomes very anxious anytime he hears me shouting. I do suppose my body feels a bit sturdier now, though. I'm so very grateful to you, Raphael.
Oh no, thank you. I'm just happy to have someone to shout with.
But doesn't all this shouting keep you from your precious workout regimen?
Nah, don't worry about that. I think I'm in better shape now than I was before. My muscles work overtime when they hear you shouting so close to me.
Isn't that wonderful? Come along, Raphael's muscles. We can do this. It is my wish that someday I'll be able to lift a log all on my own with these arms of mine.
I'm sure they will. I used to think you were a lost cause, but look at you now. If you really want to get there, you gotta start training your muscles when we shout, all right? You've already got big brains, but if we can get you big muscles too, you're gonna be invincible.
Invincible! I like the sound of that. Roar! Ah!
Whoa! Ah!
My friend, the reinforcements the Lord sent are finally gathering. Truth be told, Fort Mercius would have made for a better base of operation. But that weird pillar of light changes things. It's pretty scary, honestly. I wonder what it is. Makes sense, but whatever it was, I've never seen destructive power quite like it. I wonder where it came from. Well, I guess pondering it is a waste of energy for now. Let's just get ready to move out. The capital is Edelgard's domain, so she has the advantage. It's going to be a tough battle.
Fighting in the capital? Ugh. And we're fighting against Edelgard. Double ugh. But with you leading us, Professor, I know we'll win. Yeah! Woohoo! Fighting! I'm a little scared, to be honest. I'm just shouting to relieve the tension, but I'll be fine.
Whenever I think about how we'll be seeing Lady Rhea real soon, I get happy and really get cleaning. We'll get there for sure, right? We'll see her again? I just gotta believe Lady Rhea is waiting for us in the capital. We just have to find her.
We're finally going to the capital. This will be my chance to avenge Captain Gerald. Once we smash the Empire, I'm sure his soul will finally be able to rest in peace. Monica killed Captain Gerald for the Flame Emperor, and the Flame Emperor was Edelgard. I know that the future of all Fodlan rests on this battle. Nothing else is more important. But for me, this is personal. For Captain Gerald's sake, I'm going to give it all I've got and more.
Here we are, facing the final battle with the Empire. It's been a long, difficult struggle. We have to get Lady Rhea back. And we have to crush the Empire in the name of Captain Gerald. I don't know what comes next, but we can sort out those details later.
Professor, at last, the end is nigh. I love the Empire. Part of me wants it to survive, but I know that is not reasonable. The Empire's time has come. What we need now is a mighty leader who can rebuild Fodlan and rule it as a single nation. Nonetheless, it saddens me that we will not have an Adrestian Emperor.
I was born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
I was taught from a young age to believe that the Creed of Seros was just the way of the world. To question it never even occurred to me. But Claude and Edelgard are different. They challenge the common wisdom, even defy it. It is uncomfortable to discard familiar assumptions, but that is an essential quality of the visionary. Indeed, true greatness must lie beyond common sense. That's good. I should write that down.
The whole of the capital is going to be a battleground. The city has such a long heritage. Even so, perhaps it deserves to be reduced to ashes for once. But we can't let the common folk get hurt. We should try to confine the damage to the noble section of town.
Invading the capital and smashing the Empire. I wonder if doing so could really end this war. Care to share your thoughts, Professor? Perhaps you feel similarly to me. The whole mess puts me on edge. Although for now, better to focus my efforts on the fight at hand.
We're about to put the finishing touches on this war. I wonder how Fodlan will look without the backdrop of death and destruction. I can't wait to see it. On the other hand, I'm terrified of what the future might hold. Who knows if I'll survive the assault on the capital?
Professor! My mother might be in the city. I don't have many good memories of her, if I'm being honest, but she's dearer to me than my father. If you happen to see her, please make sure she's not caught up in all the fighting. She's only a civil servant, so hopefully she takes a cue from her burning and stays inside.
They used to call Enbar the city of Seros. To assault it together with the Knights is surreal. If Seros were alive today, I wonder what she might make of our war. In Enbar, there was once a southern church, and apparently a bishop was dispatched to it. 100 years ago, the southern church became entangled in an insurrection. Until 5 years ago, the Empire and the church maintained a certain distance from one another.
If we can win this war, then Claude will be the king of Fodlan, and maybe he'll tear down the wall that separates Fodlan from the outside world. I know it's hard to imagine, but I really hope he does. It would be so much better if people could live together instead of apart. I might even be able to live an ordinary life in the world Claude envisions.
We're heading up to Enbar next. I hope I make it back safe so I can tell my little sis about it.
I hear they got a neat opera house there, where Manuela used to perform. What was it called again?
Ha! That's the one. My little sis always goes on about how much she'd like to see him perform. I know we can't see a show, but do you think we could at least see the building?
The Dare the Undefeated. With a name like that, he's bound to put up a damn good fight. Did you get a good look at Judith? She practically had hearts floating out of her eyeballs when she looked at the Dare. Pretty dense, aren't you? Trust me, pal. No one's seen more heart-eyed women than this guy. She's got it bad. It makes all the sense. Even seasoned warriors aren't immune to love, pal.
Destroying the walls that separate Fodlan from the outside world strikes me as a bold step. I've spent so long struggling to reclaim the past that Claude's vision of the future casts me in a poor light. Oh, did you think I was serious? As if I would ever admit to a fault. Ensuring that the tradition of House Nouvelle continues uninterrupted is a noble task.
I don't know much about Almirans, but I guess I have something in common with them. We are viewed as different because of where we came from. There must be a lot of people like us. That's what I thought. People from the north, the west, and even some isolated communities within Fodlan. And if that's the case, maybe Claudester's got the right idea.
Claude's quite the idealist, isn't he? Not that I've got room to talk.
His ambitions are lofty and, well, reckless. One false move, and Fodlan is done for. Although, unrelenting idealism with a dash of recklessness can change the world.
Well, we've got another battle coming up. What do you think of our chances?
Winning is always the goal. At any rate, I've done everything I can to prepare.
That's the right attitude. I'm sure they're doing all they can on their side, too.
I don't doubt it, but however strong they are, it's no more than a Fodlan concern. Who knows how far this world extends beyond the boundaries of Fodlan? Talk of strength or weakness doesn't amount to much when it's only in relation to a tiny corner of the world.
Guess you're right. Thinking about it like that, even this war seems like a storm in a teacup.
Exactly. It's nothing more than an internal quarrel amongst the people of Fodlan.
Typical laid-back Claude. I always like talking to you. Your perspective on the world is so refreshing. Things I thought were obvious turn out not to be.
The way you think, that changes the way you see things. Common sense never tells the whole story. It's similar to what we were talking about before, about how you need to doubt yourself first.
True enough, but where did you get these ideas? That perspective of looking past the walls of Fodlan, when it's all we can see in front of us.
Do you really want to know?
I do.
But I'm afraid now isn't the time. When this war is won, I'll tell you all about it. It'll be easier for me to show you than to tell you.
Show me. Are we going somewhere?
It's quite a distance. You'll start to appreciate how big the world is if you go.
Sounds eye-opening. I'll look forward to it. Can we call it a promise?
Yes, it's a promise. But first, let's win this war and leave it far behind us.
Finally, you've arrived. I was beginning to get impatient. Have a seat.
What are you on about?
I'm not on about anything. Let's have dinner together, Yuri.
What is this? Did you make it?
I did. It's a simple dish. My culinary skills are fairly basic.
Hold on. What exactly is this about?
You cook for me, I cook for you. That's how this works. It may not be quite as elegant a meal as that of a Dresdian or Leicester cuisine, but the food of Fargus is delicious nonetheless.
Thank you for the meal. It was lovely, Ingrid. The flavors were nostalgic. Reminded me of when I lived with my mother and the Elder. I was actually born in a poor town in Fargus. The flavors in this dish remind me of those days. Sorry. I didn't mean to compare a meal made by nobility with the meager food I grew up eating.
No offense taken. To tell the truth, although my house is a noble one, it's also lacking in money. Our territory was struck by famine, and we ate whatever the land gave us, which wasn't much. We took what we could, just like everyone.
I see. Well, I must say that your cooking is quite to my taste. Any meal made with so much thought and care is bound to be delicious.
Why, thank you. High praise indeed, from someone who knows their way around a kitchen.
To survive in this world means to sharpen many skills, whether it's cooking or anything else, really. Although I've got to say, I do enjoy cooking. And if my meals can bring a smile to someone's face, all the better. Celebrating victories with friends, sitting around a table with loved ones, watching someone enjoy the meal I made them. Few things bring me more joy.
Have you ever considered giving up being the Lord of the Underworld and becoming a chef instead?
A chef, huh? You know, that doesn't sound half bad.
If you ever do, I'd come to your restaurant and eat whatever you'd whipped up every day.
I'd like that very much. I'd work extra hard so I could see that lovely smile of yours.
You are just too much. I can hardly maintain my composure around you.
Did I say something wrong?
Not at all, Yuri. Not at all.
Little Lysithea. These ears miss nothing, you know.
What are you on about this time?
Is it true that Count Ordelia plans to relinquish his title eventually?
Yes, but why are you asking?
I approve, that's all. Throwing off the shackles of nobility to live freely, it's a beautiful thing.
I would ask that you refrain from painting them with the same brushstrokes that you so liberally paint yourself with. My mother and father will carry on with all the associated duties befitting of nobles. Only after that will they retire.
Got it. And that's completely different from someone like me who tapped out of the nobility game, right? Your parents are exemplary nobles, that's for sure. I respect that you support them as much as you do.
Would you just stop? You're embarrassing me.
Can't be helped. Meant every word. If anyone should have red cheeks, it's me, given the choices I've made.
I'm sure you had your reasons.
Of course. Still, it is a bit cowardly of me not to stand up to my family a bit more. Honestly, it's since getting to know you that I've started thinking along those lines. One day soon I'll return to that house. My reception will be chilly at best. Still, it must be done. My house is full of lowlifes. But it also has my little bro, who took over when I left. He's good people. Even with the difficulties in Leicester, our house is still going strong. That's his doing. That's why I've decided that it's time to talk to him about what can be done to help Count Ordelia.
Repaying your perceived debt would be nice, sure. But it sounds like you intend to foist your responsibility onto your little brother.
Ah, but the two aren't related. This is just the right thing to do. I'm still pondering how best to fulfill my vow.
Uh-huh.
Wow. You don't believe me, do you, little lady?
Just what exactly are you planning on in terms of this repayment?
After your family relinquishes their noble titles, I'll support them so that you can all live in peace.
Even though you're a lowlife?
That may be true, and it is, but consider this. I've seen life from both sides, as a noble and a vagabond. When their situation changes, they'll face new challenges. I'm the perfect guy to help them through.
You're irresponsible and unreliable. But clearly, you're not a bad person. And your support would be most appreciated. Just so you're aware, however, we have no means with which to pay you. So, are you sure you're still willing to follow through with this?
I wasn't planning on doing this for a payout, but if you really insisted on a thank you gift, well, you could always accept me into your family. Then paying me wouldn't be a consideration.
Excuse me? Just what are you insinuating?
Don't think too hard about it just yet. I still have lots of debts to pay and affairs to settle. In the meantime, let's just stick close together. Yeah?
Very interesting. Oh, Teach. How long have you been there? Don't sneak up on me like that. You almost gave me a heart attack. Anyway, I'm reading the official biography of the Four Saints, as sanctioned by the Church. I know you're not very familiar with the teachings of Seiros, but even you must have read it at least once. Huh. I'm amazed you managed to get a job teaching at an academy run by the Church. Well, whether you've read the biography or not, the Four Saints must at least ring a bell, right? Well then, I've got a little quiz for you. Name the Four Saints, companions of the great Saint Seiros. I'll give you a hint. There was Keyhole, Sethline, Indek, and... who was the fourth one again? Correct. I was hoping you'd know that much at least. In any case, you can learn some interesting things reading about the life and times of Saint Macuil. For instance, he was more skilled with his hands than his fellow saints, and even became an accomplished blacksmith. He used his skills to forge countless sacred weapons for the army of Seiros. Of course, he didn't just forge the weapons, he also used them in battle himself. Legends say his strength was second only to Seiros. It's even said that he played a big role in the Battle of Tailtean, where Seiros fought Nemesis, the King of Liberation who became the King of Evil. Macuil lost his life in that battle, and now his body rests in a coffin within the Holy Mausoleum. Or so one story goes. Another legend says he set off on a journey to find a new land. That he left Fodlan from the east, crossed the sea, and vanished. He must have left Alliance territory, but where exactly would he have set sail from, I wonder? Thinking about it reminds me of another interesting story concerning the Strang region. The peninsula is attached to the mainland of Fodlan and extends from the northeastern part of Kingdom territory. If you were to set sail from Margrave Edmund's territory, you could cut across a stretch of sea and land there. And it just so happens that in the Strang region, there are ruins built to worship a sacred beast that appeared from across the sea. If the ruins have something to do with St. Macuil, there could be sacred weapons there. So, have I piqued your interest, or what? You always have to play it cool, don't you? Just think of how useful it would be to have weapons like that. Not to mention that the peninsula would be pretty easy to get to about now, seeing as how Alliance territory has settled down a bit. We'd be there and back in no time. No one would even notice we were gone. Come on, Teach. Let's go to the Strang region. I always see it through once I set my mind on something. Let's make the necessary preparations before I die of curiosity. There are the ruins. It looks like we're not going to have the luxury of an excavation. Look, I bet those are the watchmen of the ruins, and that they've been ordered to keep out intruders. And that big beast? I hear they call it the Wind Caller.
Only by defeating me can you claim the secret treasure.
Ah, it speaks! What is it?
Huh? Who are you? I'm just here for a bit of treasure. Don't attack me!
Someone got here first. Must be a band of looters. We can't let them get the treasure. Guess their luck's about to run out. Strategy in motion.
Pure grit! How about a curtsy? A long way to go.
No, that's my treasure.
The treasure. I thought it would make me rich.
Those thieves!
Thought you could best me?
You're in my way! I will not die yet.
In the name of justice!
I'm still here. I just eked by.
Not giving up. All this violence, and for what?
Those who stand before me, how long has it been? Hundreds of years, thousands. You have the stink of Sothis upon you. Let us find out whether you share her power. You are not going to flee. I shall take your life as payment.
That's life.
Have a taste of my power. Oh, that face takes me back in time. You have not changed one bit, Seven.
I ask that you keep quiet, Uncle.
Why the rush, Seven?
Shh! Please keep quiet, Uncle!
Tremble before me! I smell those detestable 10 elites. Who are you?
I'm the grandson of the grandson of the grandson of the elite Regan. Now tell me who you are.
I am your family's enemy. If you carry the blood of the 10 elites, you cannot be permitted to live.
What do you mean by that? And what's that crest on your forehead?
No more talk. If you wish to survive, you must destroy me.
Hold a grudge if you must. I'm that much closer to my goal. It stopped moving. Is it dead? No. It seems it's just sleeping. I thought we were supposed to be given the treasure, but... forget it. I'll just have a look around there. What about this thing? Huh. I'll think about it later. Thanks for all your hard work, Teach. Sorry for dragging you along with me. I had no idea it would turn into a fight. But hey, at least we got some treasure out of it. I'll leave this in your capable hands. Do with it as you will. You know our friends even better than I do. Give it to whoever you think it'll suit best. More importantly, I didn't go there looking for treasure. Not really. Legends about the saints abound. It's hard to tell fact from fiction. I like to confirm whatever I can with my own eyes to find the truth in those legends. Not a thing. We didn't find anything concrete to prove that Saint Macuel had been there. We can't say for certain that the treasure we found was Macuel's either. I do wish we could have spoken to that wind caller a bit more. Unlikely. Macuel lived thousands of years ago. And I've never heard anything about the saints being monsters like that. Wait a minute. Could the wind caller have anything to do with the Immaculate One? The Immaculate One is a monster sent by the goddess. Could the wind caller be... Where was it that I heard that stuff about them having been sent by the goddess? Maybe I'm too tired. My head is heavy. I can't think straight anymore. Let's call it a day for now. I've got plenty of time to think this over.
I have told you already, I am quite all right.
You say that, but...
I do not care what you have to say. I could not bear to stand here and do nothing.
Flayn?
Hey there, Flayn. Looks like Sedith is as overprotective as ever.
Eavesdropping, were you? Well, you are spot on. I do wish you would leave me be and learn to trust me.
Listen, Flayn. Before I take a stab at your true identity, there's something I want to ask.
And what is that?
Seteth is your father, isn't he?
Pardon me?
I've been thinking about this for a while, and my latest theory doesn't make sense otherwise. That overprotective attitude of his, it seems like more than just sibling concern. More like a father protecting his only daughter.
How can you be so sure? Hilda's brother and Raphael are quite similar, are they not?
They're both pretty clingy, sure, but even they are willing to let their sisters live their own lives. Whereas Seteth, there's something more at play there, an entirely different dynamic.
I imagine that is because
Even taking into account your special blood and the people targeting you because of it, I feel like Seteth has devoted his whole being to you, like only a father would.
Have you confronted my brother with your theory?
As if he'd tell me anything, even if I did. Though maybe if I tried to trick a reaction out of him. I could try calling out, "Daddy!" from behind him when he least expects it. Nah, he'd probably kill me if I tried that. Not a good idea.
That sounds most entertaining. I would love to see you give it a try. Perhaps you could request
Father, please grant me your daughter's hand in marriage.
I can feel my face turning red.
Hey now, don't joke about that. That's something that should be done properly when the right time comes.
Do you mean to say that the right time will come eventually then?
Well, you never know what the future holds. But forget that for now. I want to talk about...
As though this were something easily shelved. This topic holds far more appeal than that of identities, if you ask me. So that's it. I'm going to be a great mercenary just like Captain Gerald.
Ha! You skipped right to the conclusion. That's exactly what Gerald would do.
I know. I picked that up from him, too.
That might not be the finest trait of his to emulate. In the end, it comes down to combat skill. Regardless, I'm happy to hear you say all this.
Why's that?
I've strived to become a knight at the level of Captain Gerald. But I'm an old man. I've come to accept that I will never be his match.
No, don't say that. You can't give up.
No, it's quite all right. I know myself and what I'm capable of. But you're still young. Youth is a weapon of the utmost power. Infinite possibility. We are both inspired by Captain Gerald. So I hereby bequeath to you my lofty ambitions.
That's... wow. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No need to cry, Leone. I'm relieved. My dream is in good hands with you. Captain Gerald is looking down proudly on you, I'm sure. Will you carry on his legacy?
Of course I will. Definitely.
Leone, do you remember the story I told you once about what happened at the inn?
The hatchet throwing? Sure, I remember. Why?
Gerald ran up quite a tab with all his drinking, and he left without paying. Now his debt is due. And, as you have declared that you'll carry on his legacy, you see where I'm going with this.
Wait, what? That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me either. I don't drink. Even so, all this time, I've been paying it back little by little. And it's not just that one place. He owes money in towns all over Fodlan. I haven't been able to step into a tavern anywhere without being badgered for payment. Ugh, so exhausting. But now, I can say that the debts are for you to cover. You're still young, so I'm sure you'll manage in time. Thank you, Leone!
Hold on, that's a joke, right? Hey, get back here! Take your lofty ambitions back! I don't want your stupid debts! Hi, Cyril. Starting to clean, huh?
Hilda?
Personally, I'm all worn out from carrying water and fodder for the horses. I'm going to rest here a sec.
Whoa, tired? Water? Horses? Are you saying you did work all by yourself?
What else was I supposed to do? You weren't here to help.
Okay, I get it. You did the work because you couldn't find nobody else to do it for you.
I was waiting for you. Because look.
A letter?
I told you I'm always getting letters from my brother. I wrote about you in a couple of mine.
You're talking about me behind my back? Honestly, you're so...
We didn't say anything bad. In fact, Well, listen up. Here's what my brother wrote. Be he Almiran or no, any young man with compassion and good conduct is worthy of respect. Character is what really matters, not the place of one's birth.
Huh, that's pretty nice. Especially since it was from a noble who battles Almirans.
Right? He's a funny one, but for the first time, I really respect him. So thoughtful and tolerant.
That letter makes me happy. A lot of people look down on me just because I'm Almiran. So, you know, it's nice to hear somebody accept me as just another person.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I've accepted you from the start. I mean, you're so helpful. You do everything I ask.
That's not acceptance. That's relying on somebody else to do your work. What you ought to do is be a grown-up who your brother doesn't need to worry about so much.
I'm plenty grown up. I just brought food and water for the horses, all on my own.
Being proud of doing what you're supposed to be doing just means you're lazy the rest of the time. Though, I gotta admit, being relied on is kinda nice.
In that case, from now on, I'll rely on you even more. Let's see. First, I need you to...
Well, time to get back to work.
Hey, hold up!
After making preparations at Garreg Mach, the Alliance army marches to Enbar, the Imperial capital. In response to the Alliance's movements, Emperor Edelgard orders her trusted retainer, Hubert, as well as the Death Knight, to the front lines to meet the Alliance army head-on. The two forces clash in the city streets.
There it is. Enbar. The Imperial capital and the largest city in all of Fodlan.
It's not just big. This city was designed to protect the castle where the Emperor lives. It's as though the city itself is a massive stronghold.
They surely noticed us approaching some time ago, and yet...
Our scouts confirm the citizens haven't been evacuated. They're being kept in town.
I've got to hand it to Her Imperial Majesty. Using her citizens as a shield to protect the castle takes some resolve.
I suspect those mages will be lurking within as well.
Troops deployed to other areas are also returning.
If we don't conquer the city quickly, things will get complicated fast.
We can't search until we conquer the city. Let's focus on the fight for now.
Lady Rhea, please be safe.
We've kept the Empire waiting long enough. Onward! We're told Hubert would be leading the enemy forces, but the Death Knight's also with them. We'll have to take care of both of them, but we won't have time to mop up all the enemy units. We'll have to split up and take them on at the same time, or risk being overrun by their reinforcements.
It's here! The Crest of Flames banner! There, on the other side of the canal!
Uninvited guests, I see. Let's ensure they receive a warm welcome. Ready the artillery. Prepare to attack. Rocks, arrows, magic. Rain death upon the enemy until they are silent as the grave. Reinforcements will fly in shortly. Defend the heavy weapons until they arrive.
Allow me to demonstrate!
I must lead them well.
We're all desperate, aren't we? The weak fall, the strong live.
That's enough! Can't afford to slack off.
In a hurry to die, are you?
I'll tolerate no obstacle.
I'm not dying here. There's more work to be done.
I've been waiting for you.
Here is something to believe in. It's over.
To kill, to die, to know one without the other would be maddening.
There is still room for improvement.
Okay. Just Hubert left to deal with.
We are taking heavy losses. We need more troops.
Step aside.
What did you expect?
Feels like fighting is all there is.
If I live, I fight. I'm continuing to improve.
You should have seen that coming.
A little scratch won't stop me.
I'm not a kid anymore! I've gotten stronger, haven't I? It's over, lapdog. Your military rule is at its end.
For every step you take along that path, our thorns will cut into your heels.
Ooh, that sounds painful. I'll have to wear thicker soles for the march.
If your boots are too heavy, you won't be able to lift your feet. But enough prattle. We must place our faith in Her Majesty. Her victory is everything.
We've made it this far. Somehow. Edelgard is probably looking down on us from somewhere in that castle.
I wonder if she's panicking or just smiling smugly.
From this point on, she'll be giving it her all too. Expect her to be tougher than the last time we fought. This battle will settle things once and for all. We'll attack as soon as everyone is ready. Huh? Is that you, Dedu?
I heard the Alliance's army had entered the city. I've been searching for you ever since. I am waiting for a chance to kill Edelgard. I have not yet been blessed with the opportunity.
Well, if you want to fight alongside us, we'd be more than happy to have you.
We fight for different objectives. I swore to offer Edelgard's head to His Highness. But, should I fail, I will have no choice but to entrust that mission to you. This is the information I have gathered during my time in hiding here. It includes details about the inside of the castle.
I appreciate this, but what do you plan to do? Don't tell me you plan to go alone.
I've done what I came here to do. Farewell.
Hey! Wait! He's gone. He's just as hard to understand as his liege was. The time has finally come, my friend. Once we win this fight, the Empire will fall. What will become of it? Well, that's for us to decide, isn't it? Odd as it sounds, I believe the forces responsible for destroying Fodlan are also responsible for protecting the livelihood of its citizens. Everything, even the land itself, has been harmed by the chaos of war. Restoring it will be no easy feat. To do that, the first thing we need to think about is a new ruling system for all of Fodlan. As usual, we're on the same page. I was thinking the same thing. Even if the Alliance Lords and any remaining influential nobles were to divide up dominion of all of Fodlan, they would simply pursue their own interests. Another war would be inevitable. That's why there needs to be a powerful ruler who stands above them all and unifies Fodlan as one nation. If it means I can lead Fodlan to a better future, I wouldn't mind that at all. My dreams await in a future where Fodlan is no longer ravaged by war. Whatever we decide to do, we can't do it until we defeat the Empire. Fodlan can't welcome a new dawn until we win the war. Let's prepare as best we can.
Part 2. Verdant Wind. Garland Moon. Conclusion of the Crossing Roads. On the streets of the Imperial capital, Alliance forces crush Edelgard's army and take up the perimeter of the Imperial Palace. The time has come to face Emperor Edelgard and to free Rhea from her clutches.
Is everyone ready? The objective of this battle is to defeat Edelgard and rescue Rhea. According to the information Dedue gave us, the throne room is directly north of the castle's main entrance. It's safe to assume that's where Edelgard is. She's a fellow student to all of us. If there's a path that we can walk together, that would be preferable. But that all depends on Edelgard. If she won't yield, then that's that. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill her. I ask that you and everyone here prepare yourselves to do the same.
Understood. I think I speak for everyone when I say that we are prepared.
The future of the Alliance. No, of Fodlan is at stake. I have been prepared for this my whole life.
Captain Gerald taught me that indecisiveness is a weakness. One must cast aside their doubts before fighting. The lives of Lady Rhea and everyone here are more important than all else. I shall be prepared.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she took one look at my overstuffed muscles and surrendered in tears then and there.
I really hope that Edelgard will yield.
Edelgard is a stubborn one. I don't think she's likely to surrender.
Goddess, please protect us.
I'll fight with all I got to save Lady Rhea.
Rescuing Lady Rhea is my dearest wish. We must prevail no matter what it takes.
In the name of the Knights of Seros, we'll bring the hammer down on the Imperial Army.
Satisfied yet, boy? Everyone made up their minds a long time ago.
Okay, let's get started. We're yours to command, my friend. Everyone, take your positions. The battle is upon us.
They've made it into the palace, but it's actually the perfect chance to turn the tables on them. Defeating them all will turn the tide of war instantly. Taking a risk on dragging us back from the brink is the only option. Everyone, prepare for a bitter struggle. Victory to the Adrestian Empire!
There are more enemies inside the palace than I thought. It's gonna take a lot to bring this situation under control. But if we defeat Edelgard, then victory is ours. Everyone, let's go! Our bashful little emperor has locked herself up behind the door of the throne room. The key should be around here somewhere. We need to find whoever's got it and take them out.
I must lead them well.
A fitting outcome.
How about a curtsy? I got cocky.
I will not die yet. Fighting wears me out.
You're fresh out of luck.
I must confess, I never imagined that you would be able to pursue me this far. I don't mean to belittle your skills, Professor, but you've far surpassed my expectations. Inform the troops. Destroy anyone who sets foot in the throne room.
Let us out.
Come, I have an idea.
Let me paint you a picture.
Gotta get stronger.
I'll be home again soon.
If I live, I fight. Greatness awaits me.
What might I achieve with this?
So close. Must press on. Ineffective. Had to be done.
Your ideals. I understand they're not so far removed from my own. But without sufficient knowledge of this land's suffering, I can't entrust Fodlan to you.
Perhaps. I dare say it's true that I don't fully understand the history of Fodlan. Still, I've seen many things in my life. Don't worry. I'll finish the job for you.
Pull out all the stops.
Professor, I suppose you think you can defeat me, is that right? But I will never give up. Even if my arms and legs failed me, I would still find a way to move forward. I will smash that false goddess and her minion into the ground. I will fight to free this world from her vile grasp. You're weak! It's over! It looks as though my path will end here. My teacher, claim your victory. Strike me down, you must. Even now, across this land, people are killing each other. If you do not act now, this conflict will go on forever. Your path lies across my grave. It is time for you to find the courage to walk it. If I must fall, let it be by your hand. I wanted to walk with you.
It's over. We were only able to beat her because of you. This wasn't the conclusion I had hoped for, even though Never mind. It's over now. The important thing is that we won.
Here, boy. A letter. An Imperial General asked me to give it to you.
A letter? Let's see it. It looks like it's from Hubert, Edelgard's vassal.
If you are reading this letter, that means I have perished. As Her Majesty would never surrender to another, I can only assume she has fallen as well. It greatly pains me to think of this coming to pass. That said, as the survivors, I must ask you to settle certain affairs in our stead. You must destroy the threat that slithers in the dark. I am sure you must recall Monica and Tomas. Their allies yet live. They hold deep resentment against the children of the goddess and the people of the world. And they are biding their time until they can exact revenge. If left to their own devices, it is certain they will eventually bring unimaginable calamity and suffering to the world. I detected their sorcery when you took Fort Mercius. I have deduced the location of their stronghold, Shambhala. You will find its whereabouts enclosed. There is no question that they are the enemies of everyone in Fodlan. Do not allow yourselves to forget that. Lastly, while I cannot say she is in good health, the Archbishop resides in a secret chamber in the Imperial Palace. I have shared the location of the entrance to that secret chamber with the person to whom I have entrusted this letter. I believe that Her Majesty will be victorious. Even still, I must plan for her defeat as well. If you wish to lead this world, I challenge you to rise to the occasion and surpass my estimation of you. Such is your obligation as the victors. And the only fitting tribute to all that Lady Edelgard sacrificed.
Hubert, to leave a letter like this behind, you were a better man than I believed you to be. So, Rhea is alive, and the fight isn't over yet. Those who slither in the dark. It sounds like Fodlan will never know peace unless we defeat them. The allies of Monica and Tomas, well, we knew about them already. I think it's safe to assume this is the same group who used Lysithea for their blood experiments. And they were also responsible for the javelins of light that destroyed the fortress. But who are these children of the goddess who they supposedly resent? There's just not enough information here. I don't suppose there's any chance that this is his idea of a prank. If so, wow, good one. Hubert, rather than writing a letter, you should have just told us before we fought. Right. We still don't know for sure if this letter is telling the truth. Let's go find out.
You have come to save me. Is this a dream? I have longed to see you again, all this time. Is it truly you?
Claude.
I can see you have grown into a reliable young man. Thank you for supporting the Professor, and for rescuing me. Surely the protection of the goddess has...
Wait, Rhea. What do you know about the children of the goddess?
Children of... What is this about?
Forgive my bluntness. Someone from the Empire filled us in on a few things. I know it must be painful for us to ask you difficult questions after such an arduous confinement. But we have no choice. We must defeat a secret enemy. Those who slither in the dark. Do you know about them?
Those who slither in the dark.
Apparently, they resent the children of the goddess and the people of the world, and are planning something big, something terrible. They use blood for their wicked magic and are capable of dropping javelins of light from the sky, which are powerful enough to crush a fortress. If you can think of anything at all, please tell us now. We need to know as much as possible about these enemies in order to stop them. This is the critical moment that will determine whether or not Fodlan falls. Can't you see that the time for secrets has passed?
It is true that there is a group of people who have slithered in the darkness and threatened the peace of Fodlan since ancient times. I am sure you have heard the stories of a man named Nemesis.
Nemesis, the King of Liberation. He's the hero to whom the goddess gave the Sword of the Creator.
Nemesis was originally the leader of a group of bandits. He plundered the Holy Tomb and stole the remains of the progenitor god. When Nemesis appeared in Xanadu some time later, he already wielded the Sword of the Creator.
According to legend, the goddess gifted him the sword to fight against the evil gods.
I do not know how Nemesis obtained the sword, or why he appeared in Xanadu, but he used that sword to massacre the people there, the children of the progenitor god. From their corpses he gained even more power, and brought war to Fodlan.
That's completely different from what the legends tell us about Nemesis.
A mere bandit like Nemesis would not have been capable of anything so monstrous on his own.
Aha! So Nemesis had accomplices. And those accomplices must have been those who slither in the dark. They used Nemesis. And this time, they used the Imperial Army to once again bring war to Fodlan. I finally get it. And I even understand why Edelgard was associating with them. Just as they were trying to use the Empire was trying to use them. Rhea, there's still a mountain of things I need to ask you, and I will. But I'll leave all of that for another day. You must be weak after living in confinement for so long. Please, rest for a while. My friend, let's prepare for battle. We need to strike Shambhala as soon as possible.
You must not allow Fodlan's bloody history, the Red Canyon tragedy, to repeat itself.
It occurs to me that we never got an answer from Rhea about the children of the goddess. She did say that the people of the Red Canyon were the children of the progenitor god, so I suppose so. But those evil guys continued to plot their revenge even after the Red Canyon tragedy. Does that mean some of the children of the goddess, or their descendants, are still alive? If there's something special about her blood, we can't rule out the possibility. What are these children anyway? And how are they connected to the goddess? I almost disappeared into the bottomless swamp that is my mind. I thought that after we defeated the Empire, I'd be able to see that sight I longed to see. I've told you about my dreams before. I want to break down the wall separating Fodlan from the outside world. The sight I want to see lies beyond that. Honestly, it's a trivial thing to fixate on. Just people, gathered in their towns, living out their lives together, sometimes laughing, sometimes fighting. But the people living there aren't just citizens of Fodlan. There are people from Dagda, Bridget, and even Dusker and Srang. There could be people who were born in Almyra, or countries even farther east there, too. All of those people living together like it's nothing special at all. That's the sight I long to see. It's so simple, but still so far away. But this is no time for complaining. We need to focus on capturing Shambhala. Let's hurry up and gather everyone together.
So, you mean to tell me that Fodlan will fall to ruin if we leave those guys be?
If this map is reliable, their base is just south of my family's territory.
This story is a bit much to believe. And yet...
It does ring true, somehow.
Remember Monica, the one who killed Gerald, and the old man who was masquerading as Tomas? They were their allies, and the Flame Emperor and the Death Knight were merely their pawns.
The people who were after my blood?
They were also the ones who used me to conduct their blood experiments.
As awful as it sounds, they're seemingly fond of using blood in their secret techniques.
Ugh, that's really gross. I could never be friends with someone like that.
I believe they were also responsible for the Javelin of Light that destroyed Fort Mercius.
Hold up, boy. Do you really think that we can win against such powerful foes?
I don't know. But we have to try, don't we?
We've really taken on something big. I wonder if our names will go down in history.
My heroic name, passed down to future generations? A worthy cause indeed.
They were trying to use the Imperial Army to plunge Fodlan into war, but we nipped that in the bud. Now we just need to tear out their roots. And I know we have what it takes to do it.